Okay.
G'day guys. If you own a Patrol or have ever owned a Patrol, you probably know these dashes are a bit prone to failing, and we've had exactly that. My dash has done some strange things. The speedometer, the digital display on the speedometer, it starts to decline in the numbers till slowly it fades out. The speedometer and the tacho both seize up. Also the fuel gauges seize up and stop working. And doing a bit of research on the internet, a lot of people come back to earths being the problem in these. I went through all the earths and checked them out thoroughly, and that's not the case with this particular fault that we're having. What I did do, and this is going back several months, was I pulled the dash and I found my problem to be one of the IC chips. It had got dry solder joints and was breaking the circuit. It had cooled down and away to go again. So I think we're starting to have that problem again. I mightn't have soldered up all those joints correctly, so we're going to dismantle this and then we'll show you what I did to do the repair on it.
Rigs on rigs, pedal to the metal, can't stop, only way is up. No turning around, no backing down, on boots rocking and roll, ready to go.
So what's that doing?
Just a little trick I like to do. I like to put a bit of pen onto the centre shaft and then onto the steering wheel, just so that when you put it back on, it lines back up and you don't have to pull it off 5 times trying to get it back to centre when you're driving your vehicle down the road. Ready? There we have it. Alright guys, we've got the dash out. Now you can probably see I've got quite a number of wires attached to the circuit board there, and that's because if we have a look closer over here, so these tracks corroded away and caused a break in the circuit. So what I've actually had to do is run these wires back to the pin holder for this set of tracks and wire them past to each spot to create the circuit. So that's what they're there for. Alright, so we'll disassemble the 2 parts of the dash, which we just got to work our way around all these little tabs. And she'll come apart just like that. Alright, so what we need to remove next is the actual speedometer, because that's the one that has the chip that's causing all our problems. So we just got to undo the screws at the back to release it forward. And I drop the screwdriver. Alright, now that we've got those screws out, we've actually got to take out the tape into the board. That's a little bit tricky. We've got to do that through the top section here. We've actually got to release these little pins without breaking them, and that allows that tape to come on out. So we just pull those up slowly and gently until the actual tape comes out. You can see there, that's the ends of the tape, and that goes into this little board. Now obviously I've got all my wires attached still, which I've got to work around at the moment. Alright, so those wires actually come off that pin connector, which obviously goes to the tape there. So I've actually tapped into those and bypassed that break in the track. That's what those wires are doing on that connector pin just there. But our problem is back onto this chip, which I'll spin this around just so you can see. That's the large chip down in there. I'll bring the light around a bit there so we can look down in. And you can see the large chip. So that's what caused our problem last time. So I'm guessing that we've got some more dry joints on that chip, which is back over to this side, and you can see all the pins all the way along here. Now as you can see, they're quite small, so that's where this fella here comes into play with the magnifying glass, just so I can get a better set of eyes on it and not cause the solder to join up between 2 points. So we'll turn that around and bring this in. Alright guys, I've been through and re-soldered every single one of these little terminations to the IC chip. I've then gone back through it and just checked for any crossover of the solder between the pins, and I've also got Louise to put another set of eyes on it, because mine really do struggle with something this fine. Even through the magnifying glass it's quite hard to see. So we've resoldered all these, which is hopefully going to rectify our problem, because basically what's happening is one of these joints is got a fracture, and as it heats up it separates, breaks the join, and then we lose our dash, it cools down again, and our dash starts to go again. That's what's been happening, and just constantly does that over and over. So just going through that, I did see quite a few of them that just didn't look like they were soldered quite as well as they should have been. So we've done that, and now it's time to reassemble. Just remember not to over tighten these fellas, or else it will pop the threads quite easily, so just firm. Alright guys, you'll see this connector down here. Now when I've done this in the last few goes of it, each one of these pins obviously has got to go through there, and the connector pushes down to lock it in place. But what I've been finding is I put it in there, lock it in, put it all back together, and parts of the dash don't work. So really pays to put this connector in, push it down nice and tight, lock it in, and check everything when you put it into the car before putting your dash back together, just to make sure everything is operating as it should. So this little fella has to go down into there, and then we've got to push him all the way. It gets really, really hard to get it to line up, especially with my eyes. That's the other problem to this, is this little fella likes to push back down, which means it won't go in. So every time you start pushing in, that little plug travels down, so you've got to re-pop it back out. And there he goes. And you can see that it's pushed it all the way along there, all the way home, and then you've got to clip this fella back down and lock it in like that. Now you'll see it sort of makes it nearly look like this. It pushes this out a little bit as it does, and that's where I think we lose some of the connections at times. So that's why we've got to check it before we lock it all back into place. Alright, so we've put the front cover back on now. It's all back together. I was running a little bit of tape just on the back here, and that's just to hold these cables down so they don't get caught up on anything when the dash goes in, just mainly to hold everything in place and not rip one of the wires that I put into place. We have our little cover that goes back on, and we're basically all back together then, and we can get this back into the car. Alright guys, dash is all back together. So we're going to do the fit up now, get all the plugs in, and then we're going to just run through a test, make sure all our globes are working and all the features are happening before we put the screws back in. Alright, that's all our clips back into place. We'll just sit the dash back down in, and I'll have to go grab some keys because I forgot to bring them with me, of course, and test it. Alright, dash is back in, so we'll quickly just do a check and make sure that everything's happening. So we'll just hit the ignition accessories, and we can see sub tank, glow plug, and the water light. Our LCD displays are all up. We've got all the digits there in place. We'll just hit the headlights so we can see that the dash lights are all lit up. Might be a bit hard to see that on the camera, but all the globes are illuminating there, and our high beam lights lighting up as well. So it looks like at the moment everything's appearing to be working fine. So we'll finish off assembly and then take for a test drive. Freaking right way, the bastard. Struggling to see them. There we go. Oh, you know what we didn't do, Dylan? Okay. Alright guys, I did the typical dumbass thing, especially on a Sunday. I flipped that around and forgot to put the screws in, so I'll go back and redo those bloody screws, and then I can put the fascia panel back in.
So how many screws hold this dash in?
4 screws, 2 down the base here, and then 2 up in the top section there, which is a bit harder to get to with my eyes, and then just the fascia.
So you can see it right up in there. Oh, yeah. So right on those top 2.
Not those ones, those ones. Torch might have been a smart move here, but yeah, a smart man probably would have put a torch down in here so he could see what he was doing. I'm just not that smart.
Now the shit part.
Yeah, you're trying to get this to swing around. I did it before. You reckon it's going to happen now? There we go. Once you get it to spin, it seems to work its way around. I've just got to get it to click into place. There we go. Those locker switches sort of make it a lot harder. Alright, and then the 2 screws up in here. Alright, just a recheck after moving everything around and screwing it all into place. Just making sure everything's still activating there, which it all seems to be working okay, just before I put the rest of it together. Alright guys, all assembled. Time to take for a test drive and make sure everything's working good. guys, everything seemed to be working at the moment anyway, alright, so that's a wrap for now, so thanks for watching.